All right. This is a video just to give examples of single sheet books that students have done over the year. This one that's here is one that I actually made to illustrate that wrapper cover that we learned. And so it's done to kind of show what you can do. And it's just, oh, I guess that's, oh, this isn't sewn in there. It's in two separate pieces so that you can see. That's what it is. This is not actually sewn into the book. This would be sewn here, and this would be in like that. But what this does is show you how you can organize and lay out the page. There's a center spread, and then the back page. And then if you unfold this, you can see how you could possibly design something. So this is just done, you know, to illustrate that. And that's a one-sided piece of paper. And then the strip that it's in, you could think about like that. So the way that it goes is like that. That's the little bit of confusion there, is it's not the end of the sheet. It's sort of centered on the sheet, that cover piece. This is just a little sample of what you could do with that wrapper cover. Okay. And then I've got a whole bunch of these books that people have made over the years. This is, I think that this one's done like that, the wrapper like that, sewn in. And what's cool about that is it starts with a solid piece of paper. And then, oh, this is a French fold. They really, I think they put the back in the front, but I do like that. I think it shouldn't be a French fold, so that you could actually page through and it would build up to this last page. That would be cool. But I do like the idea a lot. There's no color in it. It's just the off-white paper. This is one that's done sort of like a double pamphlet, but they almost did like an accordion and then sewed two. They use staples, which I usually don't like, but it's such a cool book that I forgave that instead of using thread, because I think it would be hard to do, because this is plastic, the covers. It's really thick too. It's like a really thick plastic. And this is, I think this is the same person who did that book. That was the hexaflexagon that kind of didn't work like one, but it was really just a cool object. I think that's probably the same person. But I like that with that plastic cover. I think it's a cool idea. Oh yeah, this is a little demo book I think that I did with the grommets and with hole punching. And I don't think I've done a video to show you guys that. Maybe I'll make a video of using grommets and using the screw punch. But this is interesting to see, because that's like a simple little thing to just punch holes in the cover. So this book has content. It's a book about time. Time is a great teacher. That's that wrapper cover. Oh, anatomy of a sushi roll. This is all done with tracing paper, so you can see through. You can see the whole sushi roll if you push it down flat. It's done like a French fold. I mean, if you do something this great with the French fold, that's awesome. I'm fine with it. I suggest not doing the French fold because it's so easy. But if you do something nice and complex and sophisticated like this with it, I think then it's acceptable. It's really about making an interesting book. I'm not so concerned about which structure you make. Just make it interesting. Make it worth your time. Make it worth my time. You are my sunshine. I think this was a person's grandparents. That's an interesting treatment there on the cover. The faces wrap around the edges. Like that. This is a kind of our assignment is similar to this, how to do something, how to sew a button. So this might be an approach. This is stitched with a sewing machine. This is a book about somebody's cat for Franklin the fish. This is about plant growth. This is another person who did a French fold. I think there's 2 French folds in here. Yeah, there's 2. That's an interesting use of that tracing paper. You can see through to the next layer. They kind of build on each other. This is done using stencils and paint. And you could also do this with an ink pad, I think, as well. But just 2 stencils, or maybe even 1 stencil. There's a little house on a hill and a little goat. The happy hills. There's all these illustrations of different creatures and characters. And then they used the outside, they used the stencil and then did the paint on the outside of it. So that's so simple with just one thing and repeated use of it. Oh yeah, this is a little happy birthday card. That's done like a French fold into that wrapper cover. Oh, that's cool. That's a French fold. And then there's an illustration inside of that bird. This is a French fold, but there's things inserted. That's a piece that's like tipped on or glued in right here. Once. I think she did that little flap so it could hold in place. It's kind of nice. It doesn't work. I need to be a little bit bigger. Oh yeah, this is a bike. It's a book about underwater basket weaving. This is done with a stamp or a few stamps. It's nice. I like that texture that happened here, where it's under inked, but it's cool. Oh yeah, this is one somebody bound a different way. And they, oh, this is The Exquisite Corpse. I think you could do this, but this binding doesn't work that well. I think they had an idea and thought, oh, I'll just do it. And then it didn't really turn out correctly. I like this idea though. It just didn't technically work. So, you know, there are limitations to things, but if they had done just a regular binding, I think they just really wanted to do these loose cards and couldn't figure out how to bind that. Something about this distance is too far. I don't know, something, it just doesn't, and it doesn't open flat. I think you need a D ring instead of an O ring. Yeah, this is like coming apart because it's so resistant to doing that. Yeah, but I like this idea of the Exquisite Corpse. It's like Greek mythology. I have to fix that one. Oh yeah, this is so good. This is like a wrapper, but that has this little cut in it, so you can put a little tab. And then I'm trying to see what they did. Oh, this is a different binding. This is like a double, two pamphlets sewn into one. And there's like a spine scored. This is really like a long stitch book. And this is like a collection of prints. This is really lovely. And then here's the second pamphlet. This is another one that's a pamphlet sewn into a cover where the spine is actually folded. This was a typography project. This is from a long time ago. So it's like a specimen book. Oh yeah, this is an interesting book because it's just done with folds and then perforated pages. I don't know if you can see that texture. It's on the page. It has a little stitch on it. This is a grommet. It's done tight so it won't turn. There's no... This is a French fold book with an illustration of teeth, or maybe bones, or maybe both. This is a printmaking book. It's painted pages and then chalk writing on the pages. So I think that's another one done like a pamphlet. It's done with that wrapper cover, but it was punched twice. So can do that. It's a little bit awkward. You got to have a good heavyweight paper to do it. I like this idea a lot. I'm an artist and I love glitter. Really like the idea of a chalkboard and kind of sidewalk chalk, but in a book. I remember this one. This is really lovely. It's stencils, but it's just the same stencil over and over. And then cutouts. I really like this. That's where the cutouts were just done and then used as the cover. Here's another typography book. This was an assignment for a typography class, but they are pamphlets. That's why I'm showing them. This was not done at Florida, I don't think. Yeah, this one has like a little button on it, sewn on it. Get it. I'm not sure which way it wraps around. Oh, there it goes. This is just pasted on. It's drawn on in watercolor, maybe on like a Japanese paper. So it's thin, but it's not as translucent as tracing paper. You can see that watercolor came through, but it's okay. This one's done upside down because this is the top of the book. Collection of patterns. And again, you know, I don't mind people doing a French fold when it's done in some complex way that's sophisticated and, you know, it has some depth to it. It literally has depth to it because it's done on both sides. There's illustration on both sides. Cupcakes. Yeah, this is a pamphlet. Another one that's typography book sewn into book cloth, and then boards are glued on it. This is a stencil. Oh yeah, this is a blank. I mean, it was printed, but it's for someone to use for their seashell collection. I love this one. This is just done with like highlighters and markers, and this is cardboard. The cover is cardboard. So it's done like a wrapper. There's the flap. But this is folded too. So this is the structure. It's like this. just done like how we did it, but it's done with cardboard. I love this book. These weird drawings. It's great. These alien sausages. I don't know what they are, but I understand this book because this person created a visual language that stays consistent through the whole thing. And I really love this. Manifesto for the Social Acceptance of Cannibalism in the United States. Okay. So this is all drawings of like hands and fingers and things. And then it's inkjet printed, I think, with these little illustrations of each little thing. All right, so that's my examples for the pamphlet books. So for your assignment, you just need to choose one of the structures and make a book. This is just meant to be inspiration, things to think about, things to explore if you're interested. And that's it. Thanks. Bye.